Hello, it's me, Nancy, today. Would you like to have lunch with me again? Well, we were having lunch together a minute ago, but you, we talked. I think we hung out for about 15 minutes, and so YouTube doesn't like to upload them longer than that. Or it means my Apple thing doesn't do it. It's amazing what you see when you sit down and really look. Like looking over there, I've always seen the forest. I've just known the forest was out there. And now I'm seeing the fortress and the chairs behind it and the poles we had up originally to hold, we were in our garden. And then in the fortress, on those raised beds. Did you want to look at it too? I mean, it would be nicer than just telling you. Oh, first I'll make you big. Won't you get big? Well, anyway, up there, you see there's a fence that comes down across behind that fortress, and then there's a valley in the front. But you see, where I'm sitting right now, before, this would be, I would be right in my swing, just beside, no, I'd be in the, I think I'd be right in the, yeah, I might be on the pathway just in front of the door of the woodshed. You know, we went out our kitchen, we went out right there into the woodshed, and this was the woodshed right here, where we are. And then this would have been the flowers, you know, the roses and such. And at about this point, we would have been on the pathway, so we wouldn't have been on the flowers or anything. And so if I had sat there and looked at it from that direction, I mean, how often did I walk out to that spot in the winter? And sort of the little sidewalk went out and then it turned, went both ways. So at that little T-junction, in the winter, I sometimes I would shovel over to the greenhouse and down toward the driveway. But usually we just went out and down. It's amazing now having a deck all the way around. So amazing. You can shovel it, you can snow blow it, you can just walk through it, and I can use my walker out there. It's just amazing. I like those kitchen cupboards over there. So there it is. I really like it when you get to see something you never see. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't take much moving in a forest before you have a different view. You know, just a few feet in any direction, and the view is totally changed. You know? Well, maybe a few more feet than that. But it's amazing how, like when you're taking pictures, you can take a million pictures of a forest because you just move it a little bit and you get a different view. I end up posting all of these. I'll put you over there because you do sit on the other side of the table from me. My goodness, I look huge. Look like a bag of potatoes with a little bump on the top. But you put a smile on your face and it doesn't matter at all. I think some people might think I have dementia. They think they're in my family. Mom, she's really lost it now. Yep, that's Mom. She's lost it. Yeah, I wish they didn't live so far out. You know, it's going to be hard taking care of them when they're way out there. They need to come in. I'm 61. My children think I should live in a city where I'm going to be so they can take care of me. 61. Now, of course, to many of you YouTubers, if you consider yourself a YouTuber, and even if you're not, but if you're a teenager, then you would know all about that. whatever it was I was talking about, which I've completely forgotten because I got busy looking at my hair and I was doing this and thinking about that, and then the words were just kind of coming out automatically, you know, like they won't notice. Hey, I drank it all. I'll have to have this one now. Now, I would like to have my mug collection up again. And I think that's pretty reasonable. Willem and all these other people like things to be bare. Said that if there's nothing there, I think Georgia O'Keeffe was like that, if there's nothing on that wall, then you can put your thoughts on it. Really? My thoughts are in here. I'm thinking them. I got them going. Oh, I've been coming up with some good ones lately. I don't remember what they are. Oh yeah, sometimes I write them down and then I'll remember. That's good. Strange to have a short memory. I don't know how long I have had a short memory, because I can't remember. But you know, I repeat myself a lot. My kids notice that I'll say the same thing. Scarlett notices that I ask what time it is every few minutes. Well, that's because I don't have my watch on, you know? Or my iPod there. Or the clock on the wall. I think the clock on the wall really did something for me, you know? And then I just knew what time it was because it's right there on the wall. I didn't have to. This is the one. No, was this one? No, this is the one. You wind your watch. You don't wind your watch anymore. I haven't had a kind of watch that you wind for many, many years. Now I have an Apple Watch. I have an iWatch. My sister has one, and so I said, "You do?" She says, "Yes." And then she told me about it. It tells her to stand up, and it tells her how much movement she's done in the day. And I thought, that sounds neat. And it is like you can use your iPhone from it. You have to have an iPhone, and they're sort of linked. And so the iPhone is on the table, and when the phone rings, you can just answer it. I always wear my thing on this side. Do you wear your watch on that side? When I was young, I started wearing it on this side because it just felt better. And I think it was easier. It's easier to go like this than to curve here. You know, you've got to lift your arm, bend your elbow, and twist it, you know? Like, this is easier than this. This one is not as good. Isn't that interesting? Oh, now I have something new to complain about. I shan't complain. In Germany, they do not talk about how they feel. Do not talk about pain. That is private, which is so strange. They'll talk about how much you make or how much you paid for anything, but you do not ask. It's private. You do not ask how someone is or how their leg is, or, you know, forget it. Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? You know, I'm looking out there at these hills, and I remember being out there in the hills, and how the hills just rise around you. And there's hills on the hills, right? The hills are not just smooth hills, and they're flattened, or they're drawn out, or they're deep on one side. And some of these hills are not really hills, they are rocks. Some of them are just these monoliths. It's very neat to go walking in there. I call it the way and beyond. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, I mean, I don't know how much you're really interested in what I'm talking about, but if you wanted to see that, it would probably be called the way and beyond. Exploring the way and beyond, or I don't know, whatever I've done in the way and beyond. It was always told to me when we first moved here that you have to be careful out there because people have gotten lost in there. And I think that when you cross this fence here, well, from my house, from where I'm sitting, you can go 5 miles in that direction before there's a fence or a house or a road. 5 miles. So it's pretty wild here. Like if you go that way, my friend Carol used to live that way. You can look up videos about Carol's house, Carole. I think I had videos, but I try not to talk about people, so I don't know if I put her name in there. But anyway, there's the back roads around here that are just like snowmobile paths. But you can drive on them in the summertime. It's really cool to be here. And this was a really good idea, having them put these 3 windows in. This one is 5 feet wide, that one is 5 feet wide, and that one is 6 feet wide, I believe. So do you realize that if you get a sliding glass door, if it's 6 feet wide, then you're going to have about 3 feet when you open your door. You get a little less than that because of the frame and whatever. But so you get about 3 feet to go through. If your thing is 6 feet wide, if your thing is 5 feet wide, when you open that door, you've got about 2.5 feet to go through, or less, somewhat less. So like I can't get my walker out of the 5 foot wide one. No, I thought these were the same. Maybe they're both 6 feet. Yes, that's right. They would all be 6 feet in here. Yes, and this is 6 feet also. Yes, I don't know why I was saying 5 feet. I think on the other wall in there. Do you know this summer, doing this work since last April, you know, some people start with a blueprint. I just wanted to have this addition. That's all I wanted, was this. But I was going to be smaller, and it was going to be kind of like a porch, closed-in porch. But I didn't really have a fast idea, and so Dale was able to say, well, what about this? And, well, how far would you like to go out? You know, and so in the end, instead of being a 8-foot shed, it became a 14-foot room with about 6 feet of deck beyond it. Of course, I'm looking at things that I never looked at very much, and that tripod thing, it was once upon a time, it was a swing set. So it's got all the wood, the gear for it, but it's been sitting there for so long, and there's flowers that grow up it, like there's grapes that grow up one side, and then the other is, all the flowers were behind that. Boy, I wonder what will happen to my flowers. I wonder what is going to come up, and everything has been mangled all around the house. But I tried to dig things up and move them when they were in the area doing stuff there. I would try and get those plants out. I have to wait till the very last minute in case I don't have to really do it. I see there's this tree I planted. I planted one year, Willem and I, we drove around the countryside. And well, that was a different time. Anyway, so around in the ditches, in the back roads that are the size of a snowmobile road, if there were little trees growing up, little seedlings, or saplings, the hydro company, the electrical company, they'll come and they'll clear cut underneath wires. So if you go where there's wires along the road, whatever's in the ground there is not going to be allowed to grow. So I can dig it up. And if it's wet enough, you can just, if they're small enough, you can just pull them up. So I planted, I don't know, I think it was 60 bushes and trees around here. All the bushes, I think, were, I don't know, I think I got them, they were